Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, what's up? My name is vianney.strick. Thank you so much for being here. As you guys can see by the title, today we're going to be trying and showing you guys a lot of brand new drugstore and affordable makeup releases. I have tried a lot of them. Some of them are first impressions. We have so many makeup products to talk through, so I really hope that you guys enjoy this video and that you find it helpful. If you do enjoy this video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel to join my squad. Let's get into it. You guys, I am so excited to say that BK Beauty, the BK Beauty is actually sponsoring this video. I'm going to be showing you guys some of my favorite makeup brushes. You guys see me use BK Beauty in literally every single makeup video because I love them and I'm so happy to be working with them. There's actually a really big sale going on and I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about it, tell you guys what brushes are going to be on the sale, and just show you guys so you guys can get your hands on them at a really great price. So the sale's going on from July 3rd to July 8th, and they're going to be having a 20% off select items that I will be linking right here on YouTube Shopping. You can actually use this code YT20 for 20% off the select brushes, and let me just show you guys a little overview of what's going to be on sale. First and foremost, you guys see me use these brushes all the time in my videos. It's the ANGIE Hot and Flashy makeup brush set. And for those of you that don't know, this is actually a collaboration with YouTube creator ANGIE Hot and Flashy. These brushes were actually created specifically to address the needs of mature skin, but of course anybody can use them. I'm sure a lot of you guys are very familiar with this brush set because of this brush right here. The A506 actually went viral, and viral for a reason. I will be showing to you guys in action because it is beautiful. Another part of the sale is this right here. So this is actually the ANGIE Hot and Flashy travel brush set with the pouch, and this is actually going to be stocked up with 5 travel sizes of the ANGIE brushes with this luxurious vegan leather pouch, which is super convenient for your brushes on the go. As you guys can see, you can fit a lot of brushes in here, and it also has little tiny things right here to put the little brushes in. It's just a really great way to travel with your brushes, and of course the brushes are also travel size, so you get the best of both worlds. And I personally love this pouch because you can actually set it down once you open it, so it's kind of like having your own cup at home with like all your brushes, but in a pouch. And then lastly on the sale is another one of my favorites. It's the BK Beauty's NIKKI LaRose Pro Series, which is actually created by the pro MUA and YouTube creator Makeup by NIKKI LaRose. She really wanted to create the ultimate multitasking brushes for professional artists, but also of course accessible to us that are just makeup enthusiasts. And you guys know I love these brushes. They really are multitasking and you can use it for like anything you need. Lastly, if you guys didn't know, BK Beauty brushes are 100% cruelty free, and they actually all have vegan synthetic fibers. All these brushes are going to be on the sale. Again, I will link them all down below. Make sure to use this code for 20% off, and I'm going to show them to you guys in action. Alrighty, so let's get into the video. So the first thing that I see is actually a product that I actually received on my doorstep today, and it is brand new from Koki Cosmetics. So this is called the Essential Hydration Primer, and it says on the box it's supposed to refine, brighten, fast absorbing primer that provides instant hydration with a lightweight creamy formula. Okay, so it kind of comes out like a gel moisturizer. Oh, okay. It feels like it's like a very lightweight feeling type of gel, but on the skin it feels like super wet. You know those gel products that they're like thin and lightweight, but the skin just feels so wet and hydrated? This is kind of how it feels. Yeah, it is kind of sinking into the skin. I have a little bit of a plump, and of course it doesn't have any glitter or anything like that. It's actually not even adding a lot of dewiness, and it is actually absorbing really fast. So this just seems kind of like a lightweight little gel primer that the skin actually feels really nice. It feels like nice and like bouncy, but it doesn't feel like wet or greasy. So loving that so far. Okay. We're gonna be trying out this. Well, actually no, you're gonna be trying out with me because I already tried it out. Does that even make sense? So this is the brand new brow gel from e.l.f. It's called the Brow Laminating Gel. So this obviously looks a lot like the Refi brow gel, where you do get like a comb, a brush, and then on top of that you also get your spoolie with your brow gel. I'm gonna put the cap back on because it's actually just a lot easier to do it with the cap, so do not lose this cap if you are using this. So I have tried this out a couple times and it's actually really nice. And let me tell you, it has a lot of hold and it dries really fast, so work quickly. So I'm just going to put this on my brows. I do have a little bit of brow pencil on right now just to kind of fill them in. And it's like a nice thick gel. As you guys can see, like right away, it brings all the brows up. It's not necessarily like a liquidy lightweight formula. It's like a nice thicker gel, and it works really nice. But again, you just have to be quick with it. I learned the hard way that you can't really be messing with your brows too much when you're using this, but once it dries, it does not go anywhere. So as long as you can use it before it dries, you're gonna be in business, baby. See how easily that brought up all my eyebrows? I'm telling you guys, if you're looking for like an actual brow lamination type product, this is it, and it's so inexpensive. And look at the difference that it did to my brows. Look at that facelift. So I'm gonna go ahead and use it on the other brow. Yeah, really nice formula. A lot of you guys were asking if it leaves any like white residue, if it flakes off throughout the day, if your brows go down throughout the day. And no, I've actually have never even experienced that. Once it dries down, it doesn't feel like super heavy on the brows. You know what I mean? It's not like the crunchiest type of brow. I will say this is my bad brow. It always gives me issues, so this one takes me a little bit longer. I know this brow is looking a little crazy, but I always like to kind of let brow gels dry before I finish filling in my eyebrows. So all these little sparse areas that you see, we will fill them in with a little brow pencil. But as you guys can see, the brows are laminated. They're stuck to the face. They're not moving anywhere. So for foundation, we're actually going to be using the brand new foundation from e.l.f. This is something that I've already tried out. So I do have two different shades. I think the shade 32 medium neutral actually worked out better for me. So if you guys haven't heard of this, this is the brand new e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation. It's a medium buildable coverage, long lasting with 1% hydrating hibiscus complex. I do love that it comes in a squeezy packaging, super affordable, and you guys will see how beautiful it looks. So I'm gonna dot it on my face and show you guys kind of like a before and after. I do have a couple blemishes, and you guys know I was sick, and so my skin is still like really dry and red from like getting sick, especially my nose. Okay, and to blend this out, I'm gonna be using this from the travel size pouch. It's the ANGIE Hot and Flashy A101. Obviously, we're using fresh brushes right now, but you guys know how beat up my BK Beauty brushes are because I literally use them all the time. Again, this is the travel size A101, so it's a little bit smaller, but it's a really nice, like super dense type of brush, but it's also really soft. So it'll really blend out the foundation while also keeping that coverage. And as you guys can see, that foundation looks so beautiful. It's definitely interesting because it kind of dries down quickly, but don't be afraid of it. It's not gonna like dry your skin out. I just noticed that it doesn't stay like super dewy and wet for long, which is actually really nice because it almost like self-sets. See how it gave me that nice medium coverage? It's radiant, but again, it's not like super wet. It actually feels extremely lightweight and thin and kind of self-setting, and it gives such a beautiful glow to the skin. Compared to this side to this side, I think it's actually really beautiful. I've been waiting for e.l.f. to come out with a new foundation for ages. Obviously, they do have like their OG foundation, and I do really like their camo, and I actually think they killed it with this one. I've already worn this maybe like 5 or 6 times, and it looks beautiful throughout the day. It looks beautiful right away. Again, medium coverage. Don't be afraid of the satin finish if you do have very oily skin, because again, I don't feel like it's like super greasy or, you know, like it's hydrating, but it's not super dewy. It seems like they just did like a really, really good job of getting the satin finish without like the dryness, but also without the greasiness. So I think it's a really, really good foundation. I think it was like $8, and it's really, really nice. Super excited to show you guys this palette. You guys know how much I love the Makeup Forever, like All Essentials palette, I believe. It has like foundation, concealer, bronzer, contour, blush, highlight. Well, I found a really cool, affordable alternative. Obviously, this doesn't have like foundation, but it does have like the cream contour, the blushes, the highlights. It's really nice. So this is from Catrice. It's their new Magic Shaper Face Cream palette. I'm gonna grab the BK Beauty NIKKI La Rose N14. This is a really nice concealer brush, but today I'm actually going to use it to kind of place where I want the contour and the bronzer. So I'm going to grab some of the bronzer and kind of place it along the lines here. Obviously, it's a very small palette, so I'm actually going to blend it out with a different brush, but see how like pigmented it is? So this is just the bronzer, and then I'm gonna grab the BK Beauty ANGIE Hot and Flashy A507. You guys know I love using this as a foundation brush as well. See how beautiful that blends out? What I've noticed with this palette is that it's very pigmented, and it has more of like a natural finish. It's not like super matte, but it's not like gonna be giving you like a lot of dew. It's a nice in between. So I do think that a lot of people would actually like this palette, and it's so compact. It's so creamy, it's so pigmented, and it's like $8. I do want to show you guys these blushes in action, but I also want to show you guys a new blush from Morphe as well. This one's a little bit less pigmented, so I kind of want to show you guys this first, and then we can top it off with these little blushes. So we'll come back to this one. Let me just apply a little bit of concealer. I don't have a brand new concealer right now, so let's see. Let me just grab this one, the Tower 28 concealer. To blend it out, I'm actually going to be using this brush that I was telling you guys that has been going viral. This is the ANGIE Hot and Flashy A506. This is kind of like the foundation brush, but like in a smaller, like medium-sized brush. And so it's perfect because it's like not too small to where you can't like, you know, blend out the concealer all over your face, but it's small enough to really pack that product in, blend it nicely, and keep that coverage. And this shape is literally perfect for the under eyes. As you guys can see, I love it. So see how the shape of the brush just like fits perfectly under the eyes. And I love it because sometimes brushes that like go under the eyes can kind of be like pokey, but these are all like super soft. So don't you worry about that. And we are gonna be blended to the gods. Talking about viral, this blush has been going viral as well. The Morphe Euphoric blush. It's the 3-in-1 silk blush. I have the shade Pleasure, and obviously I've already messed it up because I have used it a couple times, but it's supposed to be like a ring of primer and then a ring of like cream blush. It's really nice. It's very beautiful. It's extremely balmy and dewy, so keep that in mind. I'm gonna grab this brush right here, the NIKKI La Rose N17. This one's actually a really cool brush because it does have like dual sides, so you can use it for like a lot of things. I love using this side always. You guys always see me. Let me show you guys my crusty dusty one. You guys always see me using this for my cream blush just because it's like a really like precise way to apply it, but also blends out nicely. So I'm gonna grab a little bit of this and see how like pigmented and creamy it is. And I'm just going to tap it. I like using this brush because it taps out the product specifically where I want it, but it also blends it nicely. This was also a really nice like foundation brush, and you can use this as like powder as well. It's like a medium pigmentation. Obviously it's not showing up a lot on my skin because the shade is very light, but you can absolutely build it up. And here's the thing about this blush. I do like it, but because I do like brighter blush, I do have to build it up. Obviously, the pigment builds up nicely, but because it's like so dewy and balmy and hydrating, I don't like to add that much product on my cheeks because it's just like a lot of dew. If you don't like a lot of like dewiness on the skin, I don't know if you're gonna like this. If you have like drier skin and you're looking for a very creamy, hydrating, dewy type of blush, you're gonna love this. Like, I understand why it went viral because I feel like a lot of people are looking for this dewy fresh look, which I like it as well, but I do like to set everything with powder, and this does set nicely with powder. Just keep in mind that if you're just not looking for something so hydrating on the skin, you might not like it, but if you are, you're probably gonna love it. So that is what that looks like. I obviously want a little bit more pigment, and I also feel like we need a warmer tone of blush. So I'm gonna go back to the Catrice Magic Shaper. These blushes, just like the bronzers and everything, are super pigmented. So I'm gonna grab this little corally shade with this brush, and I'm going to add it on top, and we're gonna make these cheeks pop. Yeah, so anyways, I definitely recommend this a lot. I feel like a lot of you guys would get so much use out of it. It's so inexpensive, and because the shades are so pigmented, even though it looks like a very small palette, which it is, the shades will last you. I've used this like quite a bit, a few times, probably like 20 times by now, and you don't really see like too much indentation. I'm gonna go ahead and set this whole face with some powder, and we'll come back to try out some more makeup. We don't have any new powder bronzers. I feel like I have not seen any affordable new powder bronzers other than the e.l.f. This is the e.l.f. Primer Infused Matte Bronzer. You guys know I love this, so I'm just gonna keep using it. It's in the shade Catching Rays. Where are the new drugstore powder bronzers? There just isn't any. I'm actually going to apply this with the A507 again. This is the travel size one, so this one's clean. I didn't use that one for cream bronzer, but I just want to show you guys that these brushes are very multitasking. You guys know this is the brush that I love using as my foundation brush, but I always see people using it for like bronzer and blush, so I figured we could try that out today. Obviously, the angled shape of it fits your whole face perfectly and like the contours of your cheeks. And lastly, I'm gonna add the Persona Georgia blush. Again, I don't see any like new drugstore powder blushes, but this is just my go-to. We're gonna be using the NIKKI La Rose N15. I always like to use this for my powder blush. It's like the perfect size. It's like not too big, not too small. When it comes to like any type of blush, I just love a lot of blush, and so I like to use something that will really blend it out where I need it to be so it doesn't get spread out a little bit too much. Okay, so for eyeshadow, Essence came out with a pretty cool palette. It's called the Shake It Up palette. I guess they have like different versions of this palette. This one is the Iced Caramel Latte eyeshadow and eyeliner palette, and you guys, is this not the perfect summer palette? Look at the shades, look at the shimmers, look at the mattes, and apparently it has, not apparently, it does. It has 2 water-activated eyeliners, which is this shade right here as well as this one. It was, I believe, $14.99. I bought it in store at Ulta, and it just works really nicely. It's like a really solid palette that has 22 eyeshadows and 2 activated cake liners. And I just felt like this was the palette for summer, especially for $14.99. So grabbing the Angie Hot and Flashy A503, I'm gonna go into, what are we trying to do here? I'm gonna go into this shade right here, even though it's a little bit dark. With this brush, I'm just gonna put that all over the crease. And even though it's like a deeper shade than I usually go for, this brush is like nice and like tapered. So it'll really set it where you want it, and of course blend it out really, really nicely. What I've noticed with this palette is it kind of reminds me a lot of like, I don't know, like Wet n Wild or e.l.f. eyeshadows, where the mattes are really pretty. They're definitely a little bit powdery, but they do have pigment and they're blendable and buttery. I always mention that because I feel like some people don't like when you get like kickback on the pan. You do get some kickback, but like on the eyes, it obviously translates really, really beautifully. And with the Angie Hot and Flashy A502, now I'm gonna grab a deeper shade of brown, and we're gonna kind of smoke out the outer corner just a little bit. I love the tones of this palette because it's like giving me like camel vibes. Like, does that even make sense? It's like a camel brown, because I feel like a lot of palettes nowadays are either very cool toned or very warm, but sometimes the warm is very like orange, and obviously we do have like orange tones, but I feel like there's like a little bit of more yellow in it, and I don't know, I kind of love those tones. So this is just gonna make it just a little bit deeper. I think we should do some shimmer. So I'm gonna grab the Angie Hot and Flashy A505. This is like a really nice brush to like really clean up your eyebrows. If you're into that with some concealer, it just fits perfectly. It's like nice and flat and very long, which is perfect. But today actually I'm gonna use it for some shimmer shadows. So let's see, what should we use? This shade right here. Shimmers are nice. They're not like as creamy as you would want them to be, but if you just add like a little bit of setting spray, they work perfectly. So I'm gonna grab this and just put it from inner to the middle of my lid. I think with this palette, the color story, the price range, and the mattes are my favorite. The shimmers are not bad by any means. I just feel like the shimmers are maybe not the most high quality compared to it as a whole, but I do think it's still worth the money. I think it's a really nice concept. It's really inexpensive. It has really beautiful shades. I'm gonna grab one of my favorite freaking brushes. I love this little thing. This is the A504 from the Angie Hot and Flashy. It's tiny, and so I like to like grab like a darker shade with this and either like smoke out the outer corner even more, or what I love to do is grab whatever shade I use as my crease, and this is the perfect like under eye little smoker, because it's like obviously a tiny fluffy brush, so it's gonna really blend it out, but because it's tiny, it doesn't like smoke it out too much. It kind of like keeps it at a perfect place. And then going back into the darker tone, and I'm just gonna put this on the outer lash line on the bottom, just to kind of, again, make it smoky, but I don't like to bring super dark tones too close to my eyes because it kind of closes them off. And then to do a little bit of an eyeliner with the little cake liners, I'm gonna grab the cake liner down here, and we're using the NIKKI La Rose N11. It's just like a perfect little angled skinny brush. I'm just going to do it very close to the lash line. Just put that right here. We do have a new mascara to try, so I just wanted to do a little bit of like a darker tone just so that we can skip out on eyeliner. I'm just gonna grab this little shade right here and put that in the inner corner. I've noticed that some of the formulas are a little bit chunkier like these, and these I think you should definitely get wet, but then there's like softer shimmer formulas that act as like regular shimmers. So there's really a lot to choose from in this palette. Do I think it's worth money? Absolutely. Do I think it's beautiful? Absolutely. We love this. Okay, moving on to mascara. Again, this is a first impression. I've been seeing this everywhere. It is brand new from Maybelline. It's the Lash Sensational Fireworks Mascara, and it looks like a mascara that I would like because it does have a silicone applicator. The only thing that I don't love right off the bat is just how bendy this is. Keep in mind that I do use an eyelash serum, so I do have longer lashes, but I also have very high standards for mascara. So let's go ahead and start the first coat. The formula is very wet. I already got some on my eyelid in 2 seconds. It's a very wet formula, so hopefully it does, you know, build up nicely with the volume. But right off the bat, it's definitely giving me a lot of definition, a lot of separation, and like a decent amount of length. I wouldn't say right off the bat it's like super lengthening. Let me do one coat on the other eye and we'll do the second coat together because I'm a 2-coater girl. But so far so good. She's looking cute, she's looking defined, but can we make it voluminous and lengthening? Again, if this wand was just a little bit stiffer, I feel like I could really get in there. I told you guys, I have very high standards, and so I do think this looks very beautiful. I think it's translating really nice on camera. The second coat is definitely giving me more volume, and the lashes just look even nicer. I just don't think it's giving me that much length. But I will say, I do think it looks very pretty. There's something about this wand that even though I'm adding like a really heavy second coat, it's still keeping my lashes extremely separated and defined. And I do think it's adding like a lot more volume to the base. My lashes look long because they are long. I just don't think that they're looking extremely long, but I do think they look extremely beautiful. So if you're willing to like sacrifice a little bit of lengthening, but for like a very beautiful, feathery, separated, I mean, this looks gorgeous. This looks gorgeous. Yeah. So I think it looks absolutely beautiful. I think it's doing everything we need to do. I definitely see like the firework effect. I just wish that it lengthened more, but I will say it's like really lifted my lashes nicely. I give this like an 8.5 out of 10. No, a 9 out of 10. I actually like everything about it if it was just a little bit more lengthening, but that looks really, really beautiful. So this is the brand new Maybelline Lifter Liner. Obviously, a lot of us like the Lifter glosses. The Lifter liners are so nice. My favorite shade is On It. It's called On It, and it is like a cool tone brownie nude. But I do also have the shade Out of Line, which is also a beautiful shade. Here's the thing about these. They're super pigmented. They do dry down very quickly, but they do dry down. When you do apply them on the lips, they melt on the lips. They're super pigmented and creamy, but once they dry down, they do not budge. When it comes to lip liners, I need them to last, and so this is like the perfect amount of creamy pigmentation, but it doesn't move. If you do like to kind of like feather out your lip liner, just kind of rub it before it dries. But I personally think that this is a high-end formula for a drugstore price, and they do have a really nice shade selection. And then to finish out the lip combo, we're going to be using the brand new e.l.f. These are the Sun Boss Gloss SPF 25. I just came back from Tulum and I was wearing this all day every day, and my lips are not chapped. So they're just like lip glosses with a medium pigmentation but with SPF 25. I have the shade Pink Me Girl, which again I've been wearing non-stop. I don't love the applicator. It's not a bad applicator. It just doesn't hold that much product, so you do have to kind of dip in a couple times. But let me just show you guys. See how it's like a medium pigmentation? It's not too sheer. It does have a nice color to it, but it's not like overly pigmented to where you can't like wear it by itself. It's like a nice in between. The formula is really nice. It smells like coconuts, and I believe there's also like coconut in it. It feels like a very, like a creamy, almost gel-like formula. It's nice and thick, which I prefer because this actually lasts a really long time on the lips. It like grips onto the lips, and it's not sticky, and it has SPF 25. I've been loving it. I think e.l.f. is just killing it. And then lastly, let's go ahead and set the face with this. Even though the skin is looking really nice, it's not overly dewy, the foundation is looking good. So let's just try out this matte setting spray. It's called the Mist Fix Matte Mist Long Day Wear with Hyaluronic Acid. Wait, is this like a hairspray type deal? Is it? No. Oh, no, but it actually has a really nice fine mist. So let's go ahead and set the rest of our face. It has a little bit of like alcohol smell, and the mist definitely felt like really wet on the skin, but it didn't leave any globs or anything like that. Right now, it just added like hydration. My skin's not like dewier, it just feels hydrated. So far, so good. Obviously with setting sprays, you know, you have to kind of try them out a bunch of times, but I will say as a first impression, it added hydration to my skin. My skin doesn't look like overly wet or dewy. It definitely kind of stayed the same, and I feel like it's already drying down actually. The makeup is looking bomb right now. Alrighty guys, so this is the final look. I'm actually really happy with how everything came out. The skin is skinning, the blush is blushing, brows are browing, these lashes look really pretty, the lip combo, it actually worked out really, really well. I really like all of these products. So far, everything that I tried working out really well. So of course, I will link everything down below. And thanks again to BK Beauty for sponsoring this video. Thank you guys so much for working with me. I mean, you guys know how much I love BK Beauty, so this is honestly a dream come true. Don't forget to shop the sale. Again, 20% off everything I showed you guys today with BK Beauty. Here's the code if you guys want to shop. It will all be on YouTube Shop. I will link everything down below. YT20. I hope that you guys pick up some BK Beauty brushes and you love them as much as I do. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you so much, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.